attacks fired Ozemina Hasbro.
At the end of every administration, there must be a scorecard to assess the stewardship of that government. This is not different from the Simon Lalong's administration in Plateau State, where residents say he has demystified the office with his exemplary leadership style.
You look at it, we don't have any record on ground that there has ever been any serious industrial unrest as a result of the government inability to probably fulfill the welfare of the workers.
The essence of administration is security of life and the provision of the welfare of the people. And I think that is being managed.
However, these citizens express optimism that in the next 3 years, there should be room for more improvement in employment level, canvassing for investors and investing more on agriculture.
We are the highest producers of Irish potato. But the state, you cannot actually pinpoint or figure out the particular company that processes this product. We have what it takes to be an international exporter beyond Nigeria, even beyond Africa.
We should involve women in a lot of the government transactions, the development of the state, the development of the nation.
More so, the educational standard in the state, they say, needs more commitment to have an unprecedented record time results. In Jos Ijoma Ozemina, NTA News.
Worried by some obsolete laws that impede efficient delivery of criminal justice in the state, the Plateau State Police Command is seeking the support of the State House of Assembly in coming up with enabling laws to curtail crime in the state. This was when the Commissioner of Police, Egbuka, visited the Speaker, Nuhu Abok Ayuba, in his office. Abdulwahab Babankanti has the report.
The visit is coming on the heels of increasing crime wave in some parts of the state. It is also to have an understanding of how to work in synergy to address security challenges in the state. Some of the issues bordered on having favorable laws that can stem all security challenges in the state.
I know that in restoration of peace, tourism will grow, industry, and I'm confident that this assembly will give us means to stem the tide of inter-ethnic religious conflicts, cultism, kidnapping, and restore the peace on the plateau.
The Speaker said with the increased rate of attacks in some parts of the state, the House will not hesitate in coming up with necessary laws required to tackle crime rates in the state.
We give you our maximum cooperation, whatever that you want this House to do to make your work easy, to reduce the issue of killing in this state. We are ready to do that with you, sir.
It is hoped that the visit will further strengthen existing synergy between the legislative and security agencies in the state. In Jos, Abdulwahab Babankanti, NTA News.
That's it from Jos. It's back to Lydia and Abuja for more news on Nationwide.
Thank you, Zinret. Preservation of the ecosystem and environmental reclamation is influencing major policy reforms of federal government under the 5-year remediation plan of President Muhammad Buhari to harness land and aquatic resources as essential component in non-oil sector of the economy. This shaped perspectives of guests on NTA's Current Affairs program Tuesday Live. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports.
Successive policy frameworks on safety of environmental resources to serve human needs and generate revenue resonated with varied reactions by guests who voiced hope on the key corrective components developed by Buhari administration to address challenges of erosion, oil spillage, water and land pollution.
We took the scientists, a group of scientists, young scientists from Ogoniland, and we trained them on sampling, on remediation technique. And where did we train them? We took them all the way to Geneva, trained by UNEP themselves, and they are world-class environmental experts.
But the 25 million tree planting is not going to be one-time thing. It's going to be sustained until we achieve the national mandate.
Guests say application of appropriate environmental laws with strategic planning should now be enforced and observed to secure lives of forest and aquatic resources. Stakeholders commended President Muhammad for developing workable policies in promoting afforestation and entrenching standards.
During his time, the actual remediation started. The Agency for Great Green Wall and all the other agencies that are concerned with tree planting, afforestation, reforestation have also been empowered. Budget have increased.
In another topical issue, gender-based violence, guests suggest immediate sanction of rapists and other crimes against women to serve as deterrents to others and advocates break of silence among victims.
Let us break that silence. Let perpetrators be brought to book. The Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act that took 14 years to be passed was eventually made an act in 2015. Kudos to the 11 states that have passed, domesticated the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. The other states, wake up, wake up.
Vera Mozua, who shared same fate with other traumatized victims, could not live to narrate her ordeal. But for those with conscience and emotional intelligence, rape is a crime that deserves capital punishment. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Thank you, Akwanga. We're bent on bringing you reports from Enugu, so we'll go back to Mina for reports trending from that axis. Mina, you're on.
Many thanks, Lydia. Good evening and welcome to Enugu. To aid government in the fight against the coronavirus in Nigeria, various groups and individuals have been making financial and material donations to check the spread of the virus. It is in line with this objective that the Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enito Ogunwusi, donated 4 motorized fumigators to the Enugu state government to help in containing the spread of the virus in the state. Susan Eze has details.
The modular motorized fumigator donated by the Oni, Oba Adeyeye Enito Ogunwusi, as explained by the leader of the delegation representing the Oni, Princess Fadekemi Fadojutimi, is a technology locally produced by experts in the Oni's palace. It is a device used for fumigating and disinfecting the environment. It also has an advanced brand in the form of a drone for reaching higher altitudes and particularly useful for agricultural purposes.
The Oni of Ife present you this motorized mobile fumigator for the good use of the people of Enugu in order for you to be able to fight this COVID-19.
On behalf of Governor Ogwane, the Deputy Cecilia Ezilo thanked the Oni of Ife for the kind gesture, noting that the invention will not only aid the fight against coronavirus, but is also a plus to the nation's technological advancement.
We accept all this from His Royal Majesty, the Oni of Ife. He's not just dealing with coronavirus, he is giving employment.
The motorized fumigators are designed to disinfect public spaces such as markets and parks with chemicals that kill germs and viruses but are harmless to the human body. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
Despite several programs by the present administration aimed at tackling environmental degradation in most states, some communities in Abia State are still battling with the adverse effects of gully erosion. Ifoma Ndu Okolie was at some of the erosion sites in Abia North Senatorial District.
The devastating effects of gully erosion in some communities in Abia State have become alarming as several buildings have been submerged and many others are on the verge of being washed away. Abia State has lost over 1,120 acres of soil to gully erosion. However, various interventions by relevant agencies, observers say, are insignificant compared to the huge damage done by gully erosion. Residents, some of whom have been displaced by the menace, cry out for urgent action. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Environment, as well as the coordinator of New Map in Abia State, explained that work will soon commence on some of the gully erosion sites captured in the Ecological Fund Office Data Bank.
Abia State government through New Map, they're doing studies and they have sent in everything.
In the next wave of our advertisements to pick contractors, that site will definitely be one of the sites we'll be advertising to pick a contractor for.
Abians are optimistic that the environmental remediation programs of the present administration will bring succor to inhabitants of these erosion-prone communities. In Umuahia, Ifeoma Ndu-Okolie, NTA News.
And that does it from Enugu. It's back to Lydia for the rest of Nationwide.
Thank you, Mina. And on a sad note, one person was confirmed dead and 45 others sustaining various degrees of injuries as a result of severe windstorm occasioned by heavy downpour in Damaturu, the Yobe State capital. Mustafa Yusuf Musa reports that the late evening incident caught many residents unawares as they were preparing to go to bed.
The late evening heavy and violent windstorm has caused serious destruction to many residents, including the death of one person, with others sustaining various degrees of injuries as a result of building collapse.
This building behind me belongs to a 60-year-old man, Ali Mustafa, a staff of Yobe State Scholarship Board, who died as a result of the collapse of some part of the building on him late in the evening.
The impact of the windstorm, which was occasioned by heavy downpour, was felt much in areas mostly occupied by poor and low-income and less privileged people in the society.
We sympathize with them, and we have learned there is a lot of destructions in this. Some are even hospitalized. We came now to have a preliminary report in order for us to document for possible interventions.
Residents were all over the place, fixing their blown-off roof or carrying their belongings to other locations. Some of the affected residents, who accepted the natural disaster as the will of God, are appealing to government and relevant agencies to assist them with palliatives. Institutions were not left out of the disaster. In Damaturu, Mustafa Yusuf Musa, NTA News.
Governor Abdullahi Sule has led a delegation of Nasarawa State to express appreciation to President Muhammad Buhari for approving the federal government takeover and funding of Fedin Ruwa Dam project in the state. The delegation was in Abuja to convey the appreciation through the Water Resources Minister, Suleiman Adamu. Musbah Dan Wahab was there.
Fari Ruwa Waterfalls present the potential, and Fari Ruwa Dam in Wamba local government area of Nasarawa State was initiated in 2003 with 73 million cubic meters capacity to supply water to no fewer than 10 communities in the state. However, the good intention of a project went on hold at about 60% completion due to purported paucity of fund. Joining list of abandoned projects in the state like Akwanga and Doma regional water supply schemes. Hope was rekindled in 2018 when President Buhari approved the takeover. And last week, the Federal Executive Council meeting approved 8.1 billion naira for the reactivation and completion of the project. This delegation of traditional rulers and National Assembly members from the state, led by Governor Abdullahi Sule, underscores the importance of the project to them.
Thank Mr. President.
And they hope to leverage on it when completed to show up the state's agricultural potential.
With this kind of project, very close to a waterfall, we have the opportunity to have all kinds of agricultural activities, whether it is rice or cassava or sugarcane of anywhere between 15 to 30,000 hectares easily in this area because of the kind of soil that we have.
And the president not only approved it at that point, he ordered the immediate release of 700 million naira for the project. And this year we have another 300 million. So we have like ₦1 billion already in our kitty, or almost in our kitty, to start this project.
You know, the policy is federal government does not take over state government projects. It has never happened. But then, this is the first of its kind.
Apart from the water supply components, the project will also include irrigation facility and 20 megawatt hydropower capacity, which is to be concessioned. In Abuja, Muspal and Wahab, NT News.
NAPTIP has made a proposal for a special court to try rapists and child traffickers in the country. Part of the suggestions is that, henceforth, anyone who justifies rape in Nigeria will be arrested as a suspect. Director General National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, Julie Okadonli, said this while reacting to the rate of rape cases in the country in recent times. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday reports.
The past few weeks, Nigeria has been witnessing growing incidents of rape in most parts of the country. Some go unreported due to trust gap, stigma, intimidation, cultural barrier, and religious sentiment, and even inability of victims to seek justice. This meeting, organized by NAPTIP and relevant agencies, is in response to the growing rates of sexual violence against girls and women in Nigeria. Presently, only about 5 states in Nigeria has laws against sexual and gender-based violence.
This is a clarion call for states to domesticate the Violence Against Persons Act in their states. State governors and assemblies that are delaying in domesticating this act are inadvertently promoting sexual and gender-based violence in their domain. NAPTIP has developed a template of procedural response for victims. Do not take a bath. Do not change your clothes. If the rapist used the condom, collect it for evidence. Please do not destroy. Go to the hospital immediately and ask for a doctor's report.
You talked about dressing. For God's sake, this lady was raped when she was wearing hijab. What else do we want them to wear? You know, it doesn't make sense. We said because they go to places they are not supposed to go. This lady was raped in a church. Where do you want them to go? Children are raped in schools. Where do we want them to go?
The need for parents to actively check the engagements of their children, break the culture of silence, and stop victims from shame are some of the positions taken by the agency. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
In our sports, football and goals are two inseparable entities. Little wonder scoring of goals in any football event is very exciting. The excitement leads to celebration among teammates and spectators. Tamara Ebiwe in this report examines the absence of spectators and the new trend players are adopting to celebrate goals with social distancing in mind.